That's not good.
Is that it? That is, Emma, this is a horrible picture.
That is a bad picture.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry, my daughter used my account. My daughter used my account for her classes, and that's a picture she put on.
That's different.
Yeah, I don't even know how to make sure that that doesn't show up. This is all new to me. I'm sorry.
Well, it's relatively new to me as well. I'm trying to get everybody in here. Oh, wow, not that bad. Steve's supposed to be trying to get in. Okay, I see a few up here. We obviously don't have everybody yet. Well, now I've disappeared. Got 14 here so far. There's a phone. I don't know who that is. Is that popcorn we're eating out there, Matt? Is that you making all that noise? There's Matt. There's Pete. Okay, gotta grab my phone. There. There's Neil. Come on in, Neil. $19. We're getting there. There's Miss Bartlett. Christina. Libby. I'd be glad if we can get like face to face again. I'm not a very good Zoomer. Stephanie Aarons. Robin.
I'm here.
Is that Shauna? Who is that?
Teresa Harris.
Oh, I see you there now. I see the name.
But the first, I don't think the first.
Hey, Robin, looking good.
How you doing, sir?
I like the hair, man.
It's all over. That's
It
the kind
is.
of day it's been in these meetings.
You dressed up for us, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
So did I. I still got my jeans that I mowed the grass in earlier. Coach Shoneman was trying to get in a minute ago before I got here.
I tried to call him a minute ago. I was trying to fix something with our schedule.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Somebody's here, but I didn't know who it was. Who was that said you're here?
It's
Shauna.
me. I'm here.
Hey, Shauna.
For me.
How are you doing?
Good.
You didn't see Coach Shoneman out there anywhere, did you? In the waiting room?
No. No.
He called me a while ago and said he needed to be invited. I said, no, I'm not on there yet. You can't get in till I get there. I was going to come a little earlier, but I had these peanuts to eat, and I wanted to do that before I got on here. We now have 26 attendees. That's getting close to the right number. I still don't see Steve. Elizabeth Herrera, Kabetsky from Hazel, I think. I have an iPhone attendant and a user. I don't know who that is. We'll let him in. There she is. That's Gina Childers.
Yes, hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Happy to be here. Rather be in person, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know who the user is. Got to give Coach Shoneman a call right quick. Kayla. Who is Todd Nelson? Dustin Tarpley. Close the door, please. Bobby Ribby trying to get in. There's Steve.
My videos.
You made it, Steve.
Holy cow, I didn't think I was going to make it.
Well, I was busy eating peanuts is why you couldn't get in earlier, because I was busy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can. Can you not hear me?
I can hear you. Okay, I'm
Okay.
going to mute.
Okay. We're going to roll through all this pretty quick tonight. I've got another meeting at 7 with our football group. And we really got quite a bit of content to kind of run through.
This is Stephanie. I'm here.
Yeah, I got you. Is that Stephanie Rivera?
No, Stephanie Aarons with
Oh,
St. Paul's.
Okay.
My
Aaron,
video isn't working apparently.
that's okay. I know what you look like. We have 31 signed on. I don't see Bobby Ruby yet, who's trying to get in under another name. And that's Dustin Tarpley right there. I don't know if y'all see Dustin.
I'm seeing you, Bill.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, perfect.
At 10 after, we're going to do a rolling start. And hopefully everybody will be here. I will tell all you guys that are on here right now that we are supposed to be recording this. Somebody's in chat right now. Okay, Kayla just checked in. I'm trying to record this. I hope it is. Oh no, she looks familiar. Who are you, April?
From Grace Christian in Farmham.
Oh, you're the iPad. I see an iPhone, an iPad. You must be the iPhone or something.
I'm on an iPad. I tried logging in from a couple and not working.
I saw a couple of things like that earlier. You guys that have your mic on, might be a good idea to mute them unless you got something to say. And I'm going to need a little help with that as it occurs. There's Libby. 2 minutes, we do a rolling start, Steve.
Bill, I'm all ready to go with
Yeah,
all the stuff from my end.
Okay, did you get my message about doing the prayer here?
But I'll do that. It's no problem.
That's good. That's what I sent you a text on that, and it was all kind of hurriedly.
Bill, this is my life. My phone is at home, but I'm at work running practice right now.
Have you got your John Madden volleyball game on so you can move those kids around? You look good. Hey, you know the people that get these? Can you read that? Can you guys read that? It's backwards, I think. It says Humana. Do you know who gets Humanas? Free? Old people. That's who gets these, old people. Medicare. I'm sure glad I'm not 35 like some of you guys. I have to go through all this again. There's Jeremy. You better get in here, Jeremy. Okay, I got 6:10. I'll keep a watch on. Steve, would you go ahead and open us up in prayer here tonight, please, sir? If you would.
Father, I just thank you for our opportunity to meet as a group. We just thank you that you're on the throne room in the midst of COVID. And we just ask for your peace in this meeting, that it would not only be informative, but that the law of love would reign supreme, and that we would be able to treat one another the way you'd want us to treat one another during this crazy time. Father, I pray also 1 Timothy 1:7, I believe it talks about the idea that you've not given us a spirit of fear, but of love and of a sound mind. I pray that it would be so in every school. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay, I'm going to try to catch these guys as they come in. First thing I'll do is really quick roll call. If your school's represented, I know Nazarene's represented. Emmanuel, Bobby, did you get in? For some reason, Bobby can't get in. Newman Arlington, Christina? Unmute those microphones.
I'm here.
Robin's here. Wiley Prep. Anybody from Wiley Prep here?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yes.
Y'all jump on it. Westlake. Alan, John. Westlake Academy. That's Division I, Inspired Vision.
We're here.
Inspired is here. Newman Cedar Hill.
I'm here.
Okay. Shauna's here. Chisholm Trail. Coach Sickler or anybody from Chisholm Trail. High Point, Pete. Founders, Louisville.
Here.
Kevin, here we got. Okay, good job. Is that Pete? Who is that? That Louisville?
That's Pete from High Point.
That's what I thought. I was looking for founders. Okay, Division 2 right quick. Division 2. Waco. Matt.
Right here.
Parkview. Parkview Christian. Not here. Providence. Eric Jackson.
Here.
Crew. Is that okay?
Providence, I'm here.
Got Providence?
Here.
No, it's Gina.
Providence is here.
Who?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gina Childers.
Parkview is not here yet. Okay. Grace Georgetown, I saw PC. Memorial Christian, Jackie's here. Sterling, Tim Rebels. Nobody from Sterling. Hazel Christian, Kabetsky's here. Cornerstone Granbury, Neil's here. Community Christian, Kayla is here.
Yes.
Joshua Christian, Luke, our representative.
Yes, sir.
Okay, super.
Yes, sir.
Victory Baptist, Tara, Brandon. Victory Baptist. Okay, Heritage Christian, Haslett. Okay, Universal. Universal, Gerald. Okay, Harvest Lantana's here. Dustin Tarpley. Temple Christian. Temple Christian. Grace Christian, Flower Mound. Is that you, April?
Me.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I want to make sure. Victory Christian.
Yes.
Decatur. Victory Christian, Wayman. Brad, Joe. Alliance Christian, Katie.
I'm here for Alliance Christian. Yeah, Jan Wallace, Alliance
Okay, thank
Christian.
you. Dallas Academy's here. Stephanie's here from St. Paul. Dallas Christian. Not here, but there's a reason. Lakewood. Jeff Mincer. Hill School. Matt?
We're here.
Yeah, I thought I saw you.
I'm here.
All right, from STEM, from RWG STEM, Fairleigh, Michael. Okay, good. All right, I think that pretty much covers it. We got repeats on the JV, so I'm not going to go through that.
Bill, I'm not sure if you heard me. Christina Dela Cruz Newman here.
Right. I got the
Founders Miss. Sorry, go ahead.
I got Founders. I got Newman.
Okay.
I got
Did you also get Providence?
I did not get Providence.
Providence is here.
Okay. Yeah, I got that one. Okay.
Providence. Yeah. I
Did
said.
you get Newman Arlington?
Got Newman Arlington, Christina. All
Did
right.
you get Christian Life Prep?
Christian Life Prep, I got from Shauna.
Thank you.
Okay, as long as I got a rep here. If you're not here, you'll be hearing from me. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and go to screen share. We've got a lot of ground to cover, so I apologize for the fast movement here. I'll get back to my stupid meeting. There we go. Share screen share. This one. All right, I'm going to go through this fairly quick. If we can get going here, I'll just do this from the beginning. All right, so y'all be patient with me because there's a lot here that we got to do. We got the introduction. I'm Bill Reed with the TCAF director for you guys that don't know me. Coach Shoneman is our volleyball commissioner. He's the real go-to guy if you have a question about any rules or anything like that. We also have district chairs, which I haven't got these up here, but they are on the website. If you're not familiar with the website, you need to take time to go to it and review it. First thing we're looking at is the district schedules. Then we'll go over rules and stuff, practice procedures. We'll talk about game stuff and then some other things that we need to look at. On the schedules that I sent you, Division 1, first of all, you can see there were teams in red at this date of 7:30. I think most of those have worked their way out. There's Katie, she just came in. The ones in red, you need to be sure and check with those if they're on your schedule, because they initially had some problem with starting dates. And I'll kind of tell you how we're going to deal with that, those various starting dates. Some of them don't really get going. I know like Newman Arlington, they don't even get to do anything till this date right here. September 8th, I think, is the date they come back to campus. So they're looking at a first playing date of the 15th. To accommodate that situation, Coach Shannon and I have talked a great deal over the last couple of weeks, along with a couple of other guys that are involved in a lot of this. And what was determined that we need to play 4 keepers from October 1, see it right there, through October 22. This will allow these teams that can't play the first week a bye, which you need to communicate with them. If you've got, for example, Newman Arlington the first week, number 4 has number 5, Burton. And I would be willing to guess that they've already communicated. But we're going to play these first 7 games as part of a non-district schedule. We're going to play the last 7 for keeps, and they will be your district schedule. And that's to accommodate not only that, but in case we have a situation where somebody in this group has to go on furlough or whatever you want to call it for a short period of time. So we're looking at the second half competitively to seed and determine championships. Okay, so that's what we're looking at there.
Bill, this is Christina from Newman Arlington. Our date has changed that we can start sooner,
Okay.
but just in case it affected only us.
Okay, well, you guys on that, those kind of things, let's kind of hold them toward the end a little bit so that we can get through all of this. I want everybody that's on the schedule to communicate with everybody like they're supposed to, but I hope that everybody understands what we're trying to do. This counts for keeps. These are games to get you ready for these. It's kind of it's just one of those years. I'm grateful we get to do anything. All right, as we move forward, man, I screwed that up. Let's see, how do I get back? I don't know. Same thing on Division II. October 1 will be the actual beginning date of your conference play. Everything that is before that date, you've got those schedules, and you need to communicate. All games should be beginning to communicate right now, and there's more reasons than one for that. These are our various commissioners, and that's what we talked about a minute ago. Okay, things that we talked about earlier in the year. I'll grab this right quick. So that we're going to try to kind of stay on schedule. Back in the summer, in June, we talked about these things about the COVID, the pre-practice screening, sterilization. This is kind of a new one that we've got that we're going to discuss a little bit. I'm going to try not to get out of my sequence of thought because you guys that know me know that I ramble enough as it is. But these are things that are all important as you begin even to move into your practice seasons, which most of you started yesterday. And I know this is hard, but you might save yourself by trying to do as much of this as you can. One thing I would say about practice, and I talked to Coach Burt today about this, you know, if you can, it would be good to break your practices some. If you got a JV group, bring them in separate and all that. Then in case something comes up and somebody happens to test positive, maybe there's still kids that you can play that have not been exposed to COVID to that person. We'll get into what contributes to that or what that is composed of. Again, all this is what we did before. Use masks when you can. Obviously, Steve and I talked about this. We're not going to play in masks unless you choose to, that kind of thing. We're going to talk about visitors here in a little bit to your place. If somebody comes in, they actually need to have a mask on at your practice if it's inside. Post-practice, same thing. I talked to a lot of my friends that are working in the UIL about some of the things they're doing. I know one of the schools I was at before I became here, before I came director here, was Bryson. I talked to Coach Bryles there, and they only allow 5 girls at a time into dress. And at the end of the practice, they have 5 girls at a time to go dress, and then they rotate groups. And they've got a coach in there that ensures that they're not congregating, that they're not chatting and wasting time, but they're in, they're changed, they're out, next group's in. So it's basically what you've been doing with a few extra thoughts. Okay, let's see if I can move forward to this now. Talking about pre-practice screening, most of you guys have been doing this. And it's pretty basic. You're gonna see something like this again in a few minutes. This is what Steve used as a check-in. There's also an app developed by Baylor Scott and White that's really good. I think it's called Healthy Living. I tested it the other day. It it keeps a good record, and it requires you to fill in quite a bit. Some people don't like to fill it in, but that's to keep a record of that kid using that app. They can fill that app out, which is the same as this. And when they walk up to you at practice time, it gives them a green light. So all you need to do is basically hit them with a thermometer and see if they have 100.3 or more. If it's more than that, they need to go home or sit back and relax for a little bit. You guys are familiar with all this because it's all we've seen all summer. So any of these yeses are red flags. My grandson got sent home because he was sick at his stomach one day. You know, one of the later things is the diarrhea as also being a symptom. Okay, let's see if we can move forward. Come on, move for me. Okay, now that's where we were. That's where we're going. Those yes and no answers kind of give you this realm right here. Spent a lot of time with Alan Burke today talking about this. I wish he was here right now because he does an excellent job of explaining this. But if they are suspected or confirmed, then there's certain things that they need to take care of, and it goes along these lines. And like I said, I'm trying to record this tonight, so it'll be available for you to review yourself. This PowerPoint I'll make available to you anyway, either way it goes. But basically, what it says is, in the case of an individual who was diagnosed with COVID-19, that individual may return to school when all 3 of the following criteria are met. And some of these are changing a little bit almost as we speak. So you may want to brief up on these and see what changes may have taken place in the last day. As everything else seems to change, these change too, but they are kind of changing favorably. So this is either a person that is confirmed or that has shown those symptoms. But again, you need to review those. And guys, I know that I know how I would be as a coach. I'd be really hesitant to say that my starting quarterback or running back had to sit out for this time, but I think it's really for the good of all. These are, again, guidelines for you. They're the same guidelines that your school will probably be following, if not something very similar. Okay, if the symptoms, like I said, if they show the symptoms, then it's assumed that they have the COVID disease. So anyway, those go back to those 3 steps we just went over. If the individual has a symptom and wants to return to play before the waiting period is up, then they need to get a medical professional's note clearing that individual to participate on an alternative diagnosis and receive 2 separate confirmations at least 24 hours apart that they are free from the symptoms of the COVID. Do we have any questions? If I'm going too fast, we'll turn your mic on and stop me, because I've got a meeting at 7 too, and it's kind of the same thing, really. Okay, this is the kicker right here on that last question on the questionnaire. We're talking about close contact. There's a little bit of area here that I want to go back to when I said it might be a good idea to continue to work in groups of 5 or 6, and then you might not have to quarantine your whole team. Close contact would be one of 2 things, basically, either or. being directly exposed to infectious secretions, example being coughed on, while not wearing a face mask or shield. Think about that, because we got football coaches and they're going to be sweating all over each other and everything else. So hopefully we can curb a little bit of that contact, or being within 6 feet for a cumulative duration of 15 minutes while not wearing a mask. Some things right now that I think I'll throw out there, Steve, some things we talked about. Speaking of that, and I may go over it again, our pregame prayer, we need to do that differently rather than gathering up in a real tight group in the middle. Steve, I think that we need to perimeter the court. And then you guys, I know that volleyball, part of volleyball is that thing that after something goes good, everybody meets in the middle and throws up their hands and says, whoop, wow, or something like that. Coach Sherman, you got something for me?
A couple things. One was we had talked about not rotating after the set is over, not going to the other side, but staying on the same side for every set of the match so that we're not transferring over.
I
would say another one I would say another one also is no handshakes. We wouldn't have a handshake after the whistle of the start play. We wouldn't have a handshake. I think it'd be more of a wave, where we wave at one another.
Yeah, I think those are important. These are things that Steve and I have discussed along with, like I said, I spent a great part of the last month talking to coaches around the league and athletic directors. If either of these have occurred in the last 14 days, same time the infected individual was infectious. That's really the third criteria, I guess. Then it goes on to emphasize the 2 days prior to the symptoms onset and or lab confirmed COVID. Again, take some time to review this. And if you have a question about it, you may want to talk to your administrator. Okay. Game guidelines, what we just mentioned. We have a question?
Bill, Jackie Schiller here from Memorial.
Okay.
Did y'all say we won't be switching sides for each set?
I'm sorry? No, we're not going to switch sides. No, the team, the teams on the floor will flip side. The benches will not flip.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the benches will not flip. The teams will flip, but the benches will not flip. That way we reduce.
I got to work for substitutions.
Yeah, that's what that means. That we don't flip in basketball, so we should be able to survive on this not flipping. As far as benches, that's what that is. That's the benches. Okay,
Okay.
Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So one time the other team is right in front of you?
Okay, we're misunderstanding what he's trying to say. You flip at the beginning of the game to decide who takes what side. At that point, you'll stay on that side the duration of the match.
The bench.
For every set.
The bench, not your rotation on the floor.
Then you're coach. So then we would be coaching on the wrong side of the court. That would be really weird to be coaching on the wrong side of the court.
You're going to stay on the same side the duration of the match.
Correct.
You guys are saying two different things, though. You're saying two different things. He's saying that the benches only won't flip, but the teams will, and you're saying that nobody's flipping. That's two different things. Yeah, that's two different things.
What community?
Steve?
Yes.
Let's make sure we're saying the same thing. That
we need it. We don't.
I'll tell you what, Steve and we'll get together on that, and we'll get back with you guys through an email.
Hey, Bill.
Yes.
One of the things, Community Christian, we had talked to you about this, that we are actually going to, if you come to our gym, let's say it's Nazarene. Nazarene will be completely on one side of our gym because we're small. That is where their bench is going to be. And then Community Christian will be on the other side with their bench. And then that's how we're keeping it. Yes, I mean, I won't ever have to stand in front of another team whenever I change sides with my team. So we actually split the schools up because we have our gym being so small. When we have multiple schools coming in on the same night, it just helps keep it, people kind of, you know, because sometimes we have people coming, like one day I've got people coming from Weatherford and another group coming from Stephenville. So they're two different areas. So to try to prevent them just that cross.
Along with that thought, everybody's gym's different to some degree, and you'll need to adjust some of your practices or your methods according to your gym. We're just going over the what else. Steve and I will get together on that and make sure we're on the same page, and we'll get something out to you tomorrow. Fair enough, Steve?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this thing we've been talking about, the thing that I do know, my computer is slow. The thing that I do know is that I'm giving you some guidelines to work with. The thing that I do understand is that the governor gave us a mandate, GA 29, and there are really two things that I would like to try to see us accommodate. I know that there are some differences that we're going to have to deal with. One of the big things, I think, Steve, and you mentioned this the other day when we spoke, sometimes we're going to have to exercise tolerance in some situations and not take everything so maybe not personal in effect. Okay, but I know this. The two mandates include the wearing a face mask and a 50% capacity in your facility. Now that's different for football because we've got like 5 acres to spread out on. So you're going to have a limited capacity in which to work. If Kayla's gym holds what, 50 people, Kayla? If seating is for 50, which I don't know that it is, you're muted, darling. Can't hear you. Okay, I can't hear you.
Yeah,
but,
sorry.
hey.
Hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hold 60. And so, yeah, it'll be cut down to 30.
Okay, so there'll be 30 people allowed, besides the players. We're talking about seating. Now, this is going to get a little sticky here in a minute. So, you know, you guys are just going to have to take some things and run with them. You should also host, you should post signs. I've got an example of one of those about the symptoms of COVID. Stick it on your door about face high so they can see it. And if they've got any of those, hopefully they'll turn around before you put a thermometer to them. By GA 29, you're required to wear face masks as coverings in situations where you're not social distancing. You need to try to maintain the social distance. If you're not wearing a face mask for any reason, maintain the social distance. And we're going to talk about ticket deals here in a minute. I already know that we have a couple of conflicts, and all I'm doing right here is throwing out what the governor said. So we'll move forward from that, and if some of those come up, we can discuss them as the season progresses. Okay, now, done a lot of thinking about this, did a questionnaire. Obviously, you're limited to 50% capacity. In other words, you're going to get, each team's going to wind up getting an equal amount of seats. It's going to be split 50-50 or 25-25, depending on how you look at it, not counting your athletes. Now, here's one of the things that I think is very important because I've studied 2 leagues on this right now. And the one thing that they are doing is ensuring that each athlete is allowed 1 parent to attend. So if you want to like write that down and highlight it, it would be a good idea to do that. Each athlete, because there's not anything going to cause Texas Christian Athletic Fellowship grief faster than a parent getting turned away. So we need to take care of our parents. And you guys please do that some way, some form. You're going to need to communicate with the host school. And there's several ideas on that. And you and the host school can work that out. And then you'll need to figure out a method, and there's already been a lot of talk about this, of how to find out what people are coming from the visiting school. I know Alan and I spoke a good bit today. Kayla and I have spoken. I don't think Robin and I talked about that. We talked about a couple other things. Steve and I have talked to that. And I think we have to maintain that 50-50 split of 50% capacity, and every athlete that's on that floor or on those benches needs to have a parent allowed a seat. It can be, you know, if you do it right in your social distancing at 6 feet. Now this is an important statement, so kind of grab this one. If you're social distancing at 6 feet, then you can put mom and dad both together on that X. You grasp what I'm saying? If you can set your next X up 6 feet away from that, you can put mom and dad both there. But a minimum of one. Minimum of one parent. Not a maximum, but a minimum. You be creative. There's ways to do this. If you have questions, you can talk to Kayla. I know you can talk to Steve about his plan. You talk to Alan Bird about their plan. Those are three that I immediately come to contact with on this, because Kayla and I actually watched them on camera examining their little small facility. So be creative. Try as hard as you can to meet what we have to do as far as the governor's concerned. In other words, work cooperatively and as effective as possible. Okay. On the visitors, anything from a list to a pass. What was compared to me maybe today is that each parent has it's not a pass, but like a ticket that they bring to the home school, and that ticket has been issued to that one parent. Now they could both come if you can see them in the 6 feet range. Is there anybody that doesn't understand what I'm saying in my old age? It's not a pass per se, but do it one time, write their name on it, give it to them. It's like if I go to a college football game at TCU, I have a pass there, and I can get in the gate with my pass. That's all I need. But I do, I might have to pay. I'm not saying don't charge them, because they still need to pay. But that athlete's parent is guaranteed a seat when they play. I think in reality, there's no one here that would disagree that that's an important factor. Okay, this is the kind of sign you maybe need up there. And this is not real plain, but hopefully you'll be able to look back at it when I shoot this, this PowerPoint out to you. Put this on the door, eye level, and then you won't have to do so much questionnaire screening when they come in. Screening should be everybody that's in the gym. If I come to your gym to watch you play, Coach Shoneman, I would expect to have my fever taken. Yeah, as anybody else. We need to have the officials pre-screened. Our officials at our table should be pre-screened. And
I'm in a Zoom meeting right now. Okay. If you need it, I have the form.
Are you, there we go. That's okay, Steve. I want to make sure. So there's no questions about the sign. We're good on that? Put something like that on your door. It'll save you a lot of headaches. If we communicate with each other.
Hey, Bill, this is PC Edwards from Grace. I have a question.
Okay.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
We play our home games in a sports center.
Yeah.
That'll have about 6 volleyball courts, I think.
Yeah.
So
you can use that area.
Do you have any suggestions for that?
Use it for seating. Have them bring their lawn chair.
Well, they have upstairs seating, so they're totally separated from the players.
Okay, you can use that. You can use that. Plan on using it. I know at, for example, at St. Paul's, they have two courts. And I talked with, maybe Carrie and I talked about that, or maybe we talked about that, where Stephanie, you guys, and you could maybe speak to this, could use that floor area as seating. Stephanie, are you still with us?
Yes, we were talking about doing that.
Okay. Well, and just all you got to do is really use tape measure it out. I know in bleachers what Alan and I discussed was just making an X pattern, one after another down the bleachers, and you can use maybe all your bleachers that way rather than roping off a section. Just go X across, X down, move over 6 feet, make an XX, so forth. Got to just pencil it out. Those are characteristics of your gyms, and they're not universal to the whole group. To me, physically, this is the thing that we need to do on everyone that goes into your facility. You've got one of these probably. Nearly everybody I've spoken to has an infrared thermometer at their campus, or you may have purchased some going into your summer conditioning program. Really speeds things up. I worry sometimes about how good they might be because every time I've been checked, I've been 97.1. But I guess they're still good.
Yeah, the thing about infrared.
Yeah.
Todd Nelson. The thing about infrared is they do have a variance, and they read about it 1 degree less than the actual temperature. We talk with medical professionals, and I know there's, depending on whether you're doing a forehead or an ear, the infrared will read lower.
Okay, that's why I get to 97.1 probably.
Yes, sir.
So what you're saying is probably a 1 degree allowance.
I think we're dealing with a little bit less than 1 degree for our official school document for our classroom stuff, but yeah, about 1 degree.
Okay. All right. So we can do that if everybody's listening on that. Any other comments on that? So they come to the door, they see the sign. If they turn around and leave, that's fine. If they come on in, then you got to test them with this. And I would say, it's like there's going to be times when it's going to be close to 95 to 100 degrees. Give them a chance to cool off. Try not to turn them away. But then again, you got to maintain the safety, and that is what it is. Educate your fans before they go to a game. That's the key. And I'm going to put some stuff on Facebook about this. Might even put this up on our public Facebook page as well as our closed page, our closed group. Okay, groups again can be up to 10 people. That's determined as a group. I don't think we're going to have to worry about that kind of thing in volleyball. Be more likely to have that in football. Generally, families could perhaps have that many. So we kind of bypass that one probably. Try not to use the consecutive rows, but if you do it with the X pattern, you'll be able to make it. You need to have a doorway in and a doorway out. I know Robin at his gym at Burton, they have 2 sets of doors. They have a set on each end of the gym. If you don't have that, then you'll have to get creative maybe and find an alternative exit. And then at the end of the game, you might be able to use both exits. But you also want to encourage people as they're waiting to get in to either mask and or social distance. I think, if you use some kind of markings on your sidewalk or floor, I found that people are really cooperative, the places I've been, trying to get this thing done so that we can move on with our normal life. We don't want this to be our normal. These are just some random thoughts that we've talked about. How you might have as many as 5 game balls, Steve. I don't think you and I discussed this. I discussed this with another coach. Have as many as 5 game balls, and if it goes out of bounds, have like a ball boy that goes and gets that and gets it back over and gives another fresh game ball to the server. Good idea, bad idea, Coach Shoneman?
Okay, well, in college, the way they do it in college, they have a 3-ball. They have 3 balls, and the one is played, and then you have 2 that have the ball boys in the opposite corners, and they roll the ball to the one who needs it, and then they wipe it off. So in this case, we'd actually do either some kind of disinfectant to wipe it off, and then roll it.
That's a good idea. 3 game balls or 3 serving balls. If it goes out of bounds, the ball boy grabs it, rolls it back to to the good doctor there, the sterilization person, and they play a fresh ball. So on the tournaments, I've had questions about tournaments. You may host a tournament. You still need to look at the same guidelines, or you may attend a tournament. Now, I think tournaments are going to be difficult to find. And I was thinking about this today because I have to consider things about money in our league. And last year in our basketball game, I'm afraid we wouldn't have qualified as social distancing in our state championship basketball finals. It was packed. So money was a big deal. That was a good gate for us. But this year, I don't know. You know, you're working at 50% capacity. In a tournament, you're still working at 50% capacity. The officials' fees have not gone down. So that's a concern that I have that I'll be talking with Corey a little bit about in the next couple of days once she gets to feeling a little bit better, which, by the way, she is feeling better, but they're not quite around, haven't quite made it yet. Does anybody have any questions right here? Okay. Steve, any new NFHS rules in regard to volleyball?
Okay, I'm going to share one of those, and that is the idea, Coach, if you get a yellow card issued to you before, in previous years, if you got a yellow card, you had to sit down the rest of the match. The rule change is this: a yellow card issued to a head coach or anyone on bench no longer requires the head coach to remain seated. A red card would create the penalty for progression. So it would be a red card where it would force you to be seated. So a yellow card in that case does not, it gives you a warning, but it does not prevent you from having to stand up, okay? If I could mention one more thing just on the side, we have a large fan in our gym that we use to keep the air moving in our gym, which has been just a creative idea that somebody came up with. But it's just another thought. COVID doesn't work well when the air moves. So if you can keep your air moving, that's one way to help the gym. Okay, Steve, what about the officials for side judges at district games that they, in the last half of the season, particularly when we're playing for seeding and or playoff or championship spots? I believe we were. Hey, what we've done, we did the two, up ref, down ref, and the two line judges for all when we had the playoffs, all the playoff games. We did not do that for so district games. We did it when we got in the playoffs. Okay. Yes, that's correct. Thank you. I want to make sure on that. Yes. I've got a couple of questions here I'd like to address before we get out of here. One said something about a late start. Does that mean as girls will not be able to for all district honors? We will count our all district on the last 7 games or the last half of the season. The first half of that schedule is strictly playing time. The second half will be, they'll have all district honors determined by that. You won't go back to the first half for that. So you'll do all district honors, postseason play, district championship, and seeding. I hope that answered that particular person's question. I see it on my chat list right now. So I did that pretty fast. And I just want to make sure. I think we're in pretty good shape. Any questions? If you have questions about TCAF policy, email or have your athletic director email me. I make myself available. I know a lot of you guys know that I do that. My policy, I get in trouble a little bit sometimes from Corey, because I'm supposed to deal directly with ADs. Normally, I will tell you, if you send me an email, when I answer it, I CC or BCC your athletic director. So just be aware of that's part of the process. If you have a policy question, though, either you or your AD needs to email me. If you have a question about volleyball, email Steve, your commissioner. Last call. I got another meeting in about 8 minutes. You know, Dustin, you happy? Give me a thumbs up.
Good.
Kayla, you happy?
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Who?
This is Robin from Burton. we're looking at playing the full district schedule as best as possible. We wanted to start on September 8th, I think, is what we've finally kind of decided. They're going to let us start playing games at that point, hopefully.
Okay.
Unless they change their minds.
Yeah, that's good because
I'll be in contact. I'll be in contact with everybody.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, you need to, you guys that are in red, especially on there. This was done. Bear in mind that I fixed 4 schedules in a month, and it wore me out because every time I'd get one the way I thought, we got it made this time, we're there, and then I'd get Paxton saying something, or another school would call me and say, we're not going to be able to do this, we're going to have to do that. So I trashed that one. If you could see the files that I have, I'm surprised I'm even able to find the right schedule. Bottom line is we wound up going all the way back to our original schedules, which made it a lot easier for me, and it makes it easier for you. Okay. Robin, you want to pray us out of here tonight, please? Would you mind? Since I see you on the screen, could you do that for me?
No problem. No problem. Dear Jesus, thank you so much for allowing us to come together as schools, Lord, and discuss upcoming volleyball season, Lord. We have heavy hearts with what's going on in the world, Lord, and we pray for your healing power, Lord. We know that it's more than capable, Lord. Lord, just continue to be with us. Keep our schools safe. Keep our students safe. Keep our teachers safe, Lord. And just thank you for the guidance, the love, all that you've given us, Lord. In Jesus' sake, amen.
Thank you, Robin. Hey, guys, I'll probably email this PowerPoint out, but it'll also be on our Facebook page. If you have not joined our closed group, I urge you to do that. It's TCAF, Athletic Directors, Coaches, and Administrators. I like to use that sometimes to put things like this on there rather than always putting things public. You guys have a great night. I'm going to shut the meeting down. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you down the season.